Virtue is the root of human nature, and when it is nurtured, it grows like a living thing, spreading goodness wherever it finds space. A compassionate heart is not learned from books alone but is awakened when one sees suffering and feels the urge to relieve it. Human beings are born with the seeds of kindness, righteousness, propriety, and wisdom, and though these seeds may lie buried beneath habit and neglect, they never truly die. When a ruler governs with humanity, the people respond as water flows downward, naturally and without force. To rule through fear is to build a house on sand, but to rule through virtue is to build on rock. The mind that cannot bear the suffering of others is the beginning of true morality. When one sees a child about to fall into danger, the feeling of alarm and compassion arises without calculation, proving that goodness is not imposed from outside but arises from within. If people appear cruel or unjust, it is not because their nature is evil but because their nature has been starved. Just as crops wither without nourishment, the human heart hardens without moral care. Righteousness is more precious than life itself, for a life preserved by abandoning righteousness is a life already diminished. Wealth and honor cannot compare with inner peace, and poverty endured with integrity is richer than luxury gained through shame. A person who knows what is right but fails to act upon it loses clarity of mind, while one who acts with righteousness gains strength even in weakness. True courage is not the absence of fear but the refusal to abandon moral duty. Learning is not merely the accumulation of knowledge but the cultivation of character. To study without reflection is to eat without digesting, and to reflect without study is to wander without direction. A wise person examines their own heart before judging the faults of others. When one corrects oneself, harmony spreads outward naturally, beginning in the family and extending to the state. Heaven does not speak, yet its principles are evident in the order of the world and the conscience of humankind. Those who align themselves with these principles prosper inwardly, even if outward success is delayed. Those who oppose them may gain temporary advantage, but their foundation is weak. Destiny is not a chain that binds human effort, rather, it rewards sincerity and perseverance. A ruler who burdens the people with heavy taxes and endless demands steals their strength and invites resentment. A ruler who ensures the people have secure livelihoods enables them to cultivate virtue. When families have enough to eat and time to educate their children, morality flourishes without compulsion. Laws alone cannot make people good, only humane leadership can awaken goodness. The superior person remains steady in hardship and humble in success. Praise does not intoxicate them, nor does blame embitter them. They measure themselves not by comparison with others but by alignment with moral principles. The small-minded person, by contrast, is tossed about by circumstances, seeking advantage and avoiding loss without regard for righteousness. To preserve one's moral heart is the highest form of self-care. When desires are excessive, clarity is lost. When desires are regulated by reason, peace is found. Self-discipline is not self-denial for its own sake but the ordering of life so that higher values guide lower impulses. One who masters the self gains a freedom that no external power can grant. Filial respect is the foundation of social harmony, for one who honors parents learns gratitude, patience, and humility. From this root grows respect for elders, care for the weak, and loyalty among friends. When these bonds weaken, society fragments, and no amount of punishment can restore what virtue alone sustains. Speech reveals the state of the heart. Gentle words reflect inner balance, while harsh words often conceal insecurity or greed. A wise person speaks with care, knowing that words can heal or harm more deeply than actions. Silence, when chosen with understanding, can be more powerful than speech driven by impulse. True strength lies in moral resolve. An army may conquer territory, but righteousness conquers hearts. A person who stands firm in justice, even when alone, possesses a power that time itself respects. History remembers such individuals not for their wealth or titles but for the moral light they leave behind. Education should aim first at forming character, for skill without virtue becomes dangerous. Knowledge guided by morality serves the people, knowledge guided by selfishness exploits them. Teachers bear a great responsibility, for they shape not only minds but futures. A single lesson in compassion can outweigh 1,000 lessons in ambition. The relationship between heaven, humanity, and earth is one of balance. When humans act with moderation and respect, nature responds with abundance. When greed dominates, disorder follows. This is not punishment but consequence, as harmony cannot coexist with excess. One should seek friends who challenge the heart toward goodness rather than flatter the ego. Honest criticism, given with sincerity, is a gift rarer than praise. To reject such guidance is to choose comfort over growth. The path of moral improvement is demanding, but its rewards endure beyond any temporary pleasure. When facing adversity, examine whether one's conduct aligns with righteousness. If it does, remain steadfast and let circumstances pass. If it does not, correct the heart before blaming fate. In this way, hardship becomes a teacher rather than an enemy. The measure of a society is found in how it treats its most vulnerable. When the elderly are respected, the young cared for, and the poor supported, social trust grows naturally. Coercion becomes unnecessary where compassion is practiced sincerely. One who understands the heart understands governance, for the state is but an extension of the family, and the family an extension of individual character. Reform begins not with laws but with leaders who embody virtue. Their example speaks louder than proclamations. Moral effort must be constant, like tending a fire that will fade if neglected. Even those of noble character must guard against complacency. A single careless act can undo years of cultivation, while a single sincere effort can begin a lifetime of improvement. Joy arises not from satisfying endless desires but from fulfilling moral purpose. When actions align with conscience, even simple living becomes rich. When actions betray conscience, luxury feels empty. Thus happiness is less a matter of circumstance than of character. To know oneself is the beginning of wisdom. To govern oneself is the beginning of leadership. Those who achieve both contribute quietly to the harmony of the world, leaving behind not monuments of stone but examples of humanity that endure through generations.